Hello and welcome to another movie corner. My hair is
It's all
psychotic,
caught up weird in your headband.
very much so. Anyway, we are here to talk about the newest vampire movie that is out, Sinners. It is a really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, hasn't it been getting like really good reviews?
It has been, at least to my
I
knowledge.
can see why. 'Cause damn.
So this movie's got Michael B. Jordan twice. I love how they did the twin uh effect.
Yeah.
Um, that had to take some patience.
I mean, he basically had to shoot the damn movie twice.
More than twice because of how everything was.
I'm just saying because there were two of him in the movie,
Yeah.
he had to shoot twice.
But Haley Steinfeld, who he didn't realize who it was because
Because I didn't know the name, and you
yeah,
just gave me a name, and I'm like,
yeah,
who was that?
because she's from the MCU. I assumed he knew who I was talking about, but apparently not. Um, but this is a very, very unique take on vampires. They do go all in on the common mythos surrounding vampires. You know, they can't be invited into houses and stuff like that.
And by that, she means they can't go into a house unless they're invited.
You knew what I meant to say.
Yes, but I also know what you said, which is the opposite of what you meant.
I'm tired, and that's my excuse.
You're the one that thought our old asses could do this at 10:30 at night. So now they get what they get.
Anyway, allergic to garlic, stab them in the,
Take them through the heart.
yeah, stab them in the heart with a stake, all that kind of shit. Can't be around sunlight, all that kind of shit. Now, the major plot centers around a boy named Sammy, whose cousins, played by Michael B. Jordan, are basically a set of twins in the 1930s who are trying to basically better themselves, I guess.
They got away from the plantation to go up north to Chicago because it was supposed to be better, but of course it's the 1930s, so the racism's everywhere and there's really no escaping it. So they got rich gaming the mob against each other.
Yeah.
Came back to open a juke joint. What they don't know, the specs that don't know, is that also we do spoilers here. So if you don't want those, check out now. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, now you've agreed to it. They don't know that the guy who sold them the place is the Grand Dragon of the clan in the area and is just planning on killing everyone. And yeah, I mean you can tell because it's Mississippi in 1930. What?
And it's the cliche, I'm a fat guy wearing a white hat.
Yeah, the second fucking fat man in a white hat in a 1930s movie in the South, and he's a white guy, you know that he's in the Klan.
Once you see someone that looks like Doug Dimmadome.
Doug Dimmadome's racist ancestor.
But it was really good.
Fucking music. Oh my god.
The music was amazing. The cinematography was great. The whole concept. So part of the mythos is that to explain it in D&D terms, every couple of centuries, a bard exists. Basically.
I mean, it didn't really give the timeline. It just said,
Yeah. Every once in a while, or people with music that basically summon demons because of how good it is.
It wasn't demons. It was music skills that crossed the veil between life and death. It had nothing to do with demons.
Demons, vampires.
It had nothing. to do with demons. It didn't summon the vampires. The vampires already existed. The old Irish vampire wanted the kid's power because he didn't want to die, because that's the only way they can actually rejoin the ancestors, but he wanted to see them again. And the music calls up the spirits of the ancestors. He basically wanted to use Sammy as a living music box so he could see his ancestors and his dead family.
It's basically the same concept that I was trying to explain.
Not. You made it sound like he summoned the vampires into existence.
No, that's not what I was saying at all. The music is what drew them to him.
Kind of.
Which is what I was trying to say. Either way, words. Basically, the character of Sammy ends up being one of these, bard type musicians, and his major career goal is to become a musician instead of following in his father's footsteps of being a pastor. But a lot of plot points happen during the night. They basically open the juke club that whole night and, draws the vampires out, and it's basically a fight till morning until dawn type story where they have to try to survive. It's really done well. The practical effects are really good. Especially at the end where you could tell the Irish vampire what parts of his body was makeup and what part was the CGI fire. Really done well.
Speaking of fire, I love Grace and her initially, immediately going for a Molotov cocktail. That is the move. That is what I would have done. It's probably the same result, but that's not the point.
What's your thoughts on Grace killing her husband and the way that she did it?
I mean, that was definitely someone's got to do it, and it's going to be me.
They have this one final stand where Grace basically can't handle any of it and just says fuck it and invites all of them in. It's just, come get me, asshole.
Yeah. Honestly, if it had been done a little more strategically, that might have been the move. Because it's a bottleneck, theoretically. Don't open the fucking main doors, open the one and make them come through one at a time, and then you just fucking stake as they come through. But,
I had thought about that too. I was thinking of different ways that they could have.
That's the strategic planning. You gotta bottleneck these bitches. Anyway.
But
the one thing I wanted to point out, the one thing I pointed out to you in the car. So there is the main vampire who starts all of this is an Irish vampire, and he is really old, I think. There was one kind of throwaway line that, disclaimer, my hearing is not that great and I did not have my captive view, so I could be wrong about this line. But if the line is what I think it was, then he's way older.
It's what you think it was.
Because the line was something along the lines of, it's when Sammy starts saying the Lord's Prayer, trying to, either he's making peace or he's trying to, see if it scares off the vampire. Either one, he's probably, just shooting for anything at that point, because he's cornered. And the vampire starts saying it with him, and finishes the prayer, and then he goes, the people who stole my daddy's land forced those words on us. Which, to me, says that he was pagan Irish, over a millennia ago, back when Ireland it hadn't been Christianized yet. So that motherfucker is old, if that's the case. If that's what that line was meant to be.
But I don't want to give too many spoilers, but the plot really is centered around the twins and their cousin. They are the main focus. Um, you learn one of the twins had a child that died at birth,
Yeah, it's unclear whether it was fully a stillbirth or lived for a few hours or what, but either way, it was an infant.
which is part of why he abandoned the mother.
Trauma will do that to you.
Fact. Uh, while the other twin um, was basically, I wouldn't say betrothed, but
Taken up with a childhood friend, I guess, because the twins' mother had died either. I couldn't quite tell if they were just really young or like very shortly after they were born. So this other character's mother basically took them in, raised
Mhm.
them.
But then you find out at the end that the clan leader was her uncle, is what part of the narration talks about.
It was?
Hmm.
I didn't hear that at all.
And it was part of why he wanted to do this specifically to the twins.
Oh, well,
Uh,
as if fuckers like that need a reason, but yeah.
well, yeah, but that's beside the point. I really enjoy this movie.
And there's one sequence when Sammy starts singing, you'll know it when you see it because, oh my fucking god. I don't know whether to talk about the music, the costume, the choreography, the cinematography, the whole scene. I need to see it again.
Especially since that entire scene is done in one continuous shot, and the cinematography. I meant I said cinnamon. Cinematography is done so fluidly.
It was
Like
amazing.
you could tell when people would move behind the camera to be in place, and the way that it's shot.
I
Really.
need to see specifically that scene at least 500 more times.
Um, it's one of the best scenes I've seen in a while. Your cat's yelling.
I know.
Uh, but I would go see it a second time. And I don't like seeing movies in theaters more than once unless I need to. So for me to say something like that, it's really good.
And I'm now looking to see what day I have off next week so we can go see it again.
No, next week we're gonna go see Thunderbolt.
And we have a list. We can do both.
I mean, yeah, but all depends on timing. However, I would say go check it out. I really enjoyed it.
Next Saturday morning, that's when we're going to see it.
If I don't have overtime,
Yeah. Luke.
stop tearing up the carpet.
Okay, yeah. Go see the movie.
Go see the movie. I give it a 10. I would give
Go
it.
see the movie. Go see it twice.
I would give it a higher score, but I feel like it just ran a tad too long. But
I thought it was perfect.
you think everything's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy. Thank you for watching.